back in my regular schedule. And today I decided to make this live session just to address some commonly asked questions from our wonderful customers. And we have several like consistent customers that have been with this business since it started about 10 years ago. And I'm really so excited to be able to be talking about a bit my business being 10 years old. So that is something that I'm really grateful about. So I will be tackling some of the questions. So one of the main questions we get is about hard butters and soft butters and how to work with them and how these butters are sourced and how do you mix them, how do you make lotions, how do you make balms, how do you make salves, and what are salves? Some people don't even know, like yeah, you just hear those technical jargons, but you don't really know what they mean exactly and how to make them and how to work with them. So today the first thing I'll be talking about is about salve. So what is a salve? So salves are skincare products that are made mostly using herbs. So you would see a lot of videos and tutorials about okay, candular salve, and you will see different people infusing the herb into an oil and sort of then working with that oil. So the infusion process can take as long as a week, and some take as long as a month, where you get a herb and then you infuse it with an oil, or you get an oil and infuse it with a herb. It's the same thing. So people make this oil, herb oil, and then they then use it to create products, which could be whipped butter, it could be lotion, it could then be like a balm, which is mostly one of the most common things people make out of these herbs. So if you have a herb that you really like, so I really like hibiscus, and I've made a video on hibiscus balm. So if you have the hibiscus plant or the herb itself, you can then infuse it into an oil over a period of like a month, because of the nature of hibiscus, it takes a while to be able to infuse. But what you can do is to blend it and crush it, and then if it's in powdered form, then it will be much more likely to be infused into your oil, and you just find your oil being a very dark reddish color, and then you can use that oil to go ahead and make a really nice balm. So that's it about salves, which is one of the questions that I get. And if you are in this live and you haven't sent a question, definitely send me one. And I hope I'll be able to answer because, yeah. But yeah, just joking. I should be able to answer questions about our products, because then I've been selling these products and I use these products because I cannot sell what I don't use. I technically sell different butters and I use all the butters I sell. So one of the other questions I get is about why the butters remain stiff, or why they stiffen, and why are they not just soft like butters. Yeah, that one is a very common question, and this is a commonly made mistake of people that just start whipping butters from the start without really understanding the textures of the butter and how to work with the specific butter. So the main way to solve this is just understanding the nature of butter you're working with. So there's several kinds of butters out there, and these butters are basically vegetable fats that are extracted from the particular material that you're working with. So for example, if you're working with mango butter, then the fat is extracted from the kernels of the mango seed itself. I just love mango, and I was in Florida recently and I ate a bunch of fresh mangoes because that's the only place you can find mangoes right now. It is really nice and warm over there, and the mangoes were so fresh and delicious. So you can imagine what would come out of the kernel. So, but then mango, before I digress, mango butter is extracted from the kernels of the mango seed. So when these seeds are pressed, the fat comes out of them. And these are very, it's a very mechanical process. So you can imagine how hard the mango seed is. So it's not really something you can make at home. And some people have tried it on here on YouTube, and I've seen a few videos of people making mango butter on their own at home. Yeah, kudos to you. But then because of how hard the kernels of mango naturally are, you cannot just, it's not something you can do at home. It's mechanically pressed and the fat is extracted mechanically. So it's very technical process. And some of these butters, where they come from, they actually, you actually have to move them to regions where they can be processed. So, for example, the Netherlands, which is a country in Europe, they have several plants. Actually, the Netherlands has a very advanced industry that focuses on making these butters available. So they refine these butters and they process these butters. So some of the main butters that we use, butters like mango butter, cocoa butter, and a bunch of other butters. Some of them come from India, and where they come from, these regions are not exactly equipped to handle the extraction process or maybe the refining process. So they moved from India to the Netherlands. And I've been to some of the plants where butters are processed in the Netherlands. And you can actually see, it's really interesting to see how these butters are purified and refined in order to get you what you use today. So something to note is that these butters are not processed using chemicals, at least in the case of our butters, because some companies perhaps use hexane in the extraction process and in the refining process, but our butters are processed using clays. So some of the companies that you find, they might also use heat to process their butters, but we do not use heat. We use organic clays to refine these butters. So the clays, they sort of separate the butters into different layers. It's quite technical. It's a technical process. So, well, I digressed a little bit again because that's what I do. And I started talking about where these butters come from instead of how you can use them to make your butters stay the texture that you want. So I apologize about the digression, but it's so interesting talking about how these butters are processed, because if you go to these plants, it's almost like a field trip for me, just going to see how, the machines work with these butters, and still a very natural process using clays to separate the butters into different components and then have it as pure as possible for people to be able to use it. So, for example, our mango butter, some people say, oh, well, it doesn't really smell like mangoes, or it doesn't look like mangoes. Like it shouldn't, because the fats inside the kernel of a mango seed is not like mango butter. It's not like mango itself. It's because it's a butter. It's a fat. So basically, that should take care of that. But the problem of people having butters they had has to do with you just working with a butter that is naturally hard and not understanding how to balance your butters properly. So if you do that, then you would end up with a butter that is just naturally hard and stays hard because you haven't really tried to soften it by adding other oils, other components, and other dimensions to it in order to make it just softer for you. So the way to tackle that is by balancing your butters and balancing your oils. And I have a video where I separate different textures of butters and discuss how you can balance the butter so your butter remains buttery soft. And also, when it comes to the winter weather, you don't want to work with butters that are very hard, because then the temperature is very hard. Like if you're home, you probably leave your house at a temperature of 65 to 70 if you're trying to save on heating costs. So the butters will not some butters would not stay soft at that temperature. So you might want to you have to understand that also when you're making butters for people. If you have a handmade store where you make butters, then you have to understand that you have to get your whipped butter to a temperature that is going to stay properly properly balanced. So if you want to make the softest butter for winter season, then the butters that you can use are butters like Tamanu butter. So Tamanu butter is a combination of Tamanu oil and sheer stearine, or a soft version of shea butter. And this is combined in order to create Tamanu butter, because Tamanu is actually an oil. It's a very potent greenish oil, very rich in antioxidants, very rich in healing properties, and this oil is actually very highly sought after. I remember some videos that I've seen on Tamanu oil. Actually, some doctors have talked about how highly beneficial tamanu oil is for the skin. So because it's naturally an oil, in order to get it to a butter, it is combined with a certain kind of butter. So there are several options out there, and different companies use different combinations to make tamanu butter, which is highly potent and a very great healing oil to have for the winter, to survive the winter. And one of the biggest combinations you will find out there is tamanu oil and soybean oil. So if you like soybean oil, maybe that is fine for you. But our tamanu butter is tamanu oil and shea oil. That's the combination that forms our tamanu butter. That is why it's just so much more potent. So you're combining two powerhouses together. So that's just what you get when you do that. You have this wonderful combination of naturally strong and highly potent products to bring them together, and then it's just a great combination. So if maybe you keep your house at a cold temperature and you still want your butter to remain soft when you need it, then definitely go for a butter that has a very soft texture for the winter. So these would be a butter like tamanu butter, like I just said, and you can combine that with other soft butters or other oils. So I have a bunch of oils that I discuss about all the time. So first of all, we have, if you have ever, I don't know if you're somebody that has tried our face and body oil blend. So I created this blend about 10 years ago, actually, when I started the business, because I know the problem people have with trying to get different oils. Like, you want to just get a different collection of oils, because you just want it all, which is fine. Like, because natural products, they're a bit addicting, I have to say, because you just want to get everything, you just want to combine everything. You want to make sure that you don't miss anything, which is fine. So I went ahead and made this wonderful combination, and many people have actually been so thankful to be able to have this option. So if you want to create a product that has a diverse combination of butters and oils, then definitely look for our face and body oil blend. So it contains 12 organic virgin carrier oils, and it's just a wonderful blend of oils. And here I have virgin organic argan nut oil. So everybody knows argan nut oil for face care, because it's great for anti-aging. It's known for doing wonders on the skin when it comes to healing and just all around antioxidant properties. It has it. And I have also virgin organic golden jojoba oil. We all know jojoba oil, which is one of the best oils you can find out there, that combines a lot of characteristics. And because it sort of mimics natural sebum. It definitely does a great job with moisturization of the skin, and your skin just stays supple when you use jojoba oil because it's the same texture of oils that is naturally excreted by the skin just to balance the skin's moisture levels. That's what you find in jojoba oil. Then I also have extra virgin organic olive oil, which is another powerhouse. And then there's baobab oil here, sweet almond oil, evening primrose oil, organic rosehip oil, organic macadamia oil, organic grapeseed oil, virgin organic avocado oil. We also have virgin organic apricot kernel oil, virgin organic hemp seed oil. These are all outstanding oils that I have masterfully combined in this bottle. So people that make their own handmade skincare, because now we're going into very soon we're going into summer. Okay, if you're covered in snow, just have that hope. Yeah, it's gonna happen. Just have faith. So now we'll be heading into summer, and many people do farmers market sales. They go out and do that's how you showcase your handmade skincare products, and that's all wonderful. But if you're making your own handmade skincare, definitely, yeah, people would like to see that you've gone ahead to combine several products together, and it's not just a case of just adding one oil and selling one oil. So that's why this just sells so well on our website, and because it has a collection of 12 virgin organic carrier oils, which you can just grab and then combine it with a butter like tamanu butter if you want to maintain that moisture rich skin and moisture rich hair. So that's one of my um one of my suggestions for winter skincare. So the next question I'm going to tackle is about about oils. So people ask about how they should know which oils to use for face and which ones to use for body. So that's a very good question because there are several oils out there that can break out the skin. And if you have sensitive skin, then you want to stay away from some of the oils that can cause breakouts. But everybody is so different. So it's hard to say what oils break you out and what oils balance your skin. But when it comes to face care, you will do well with sticking to oils that are not necessarily potent seed oils, or how would I put it? Maybe not, maybe potent is not the word. Like there's some oils that are very strong seed oils. They work well for things like hair and body, but for face they may cause breakouts. Also, if you are sensitive to nuts, if you're allergic to nuts, definitely stay away from that. And some of the things that cause people to have skin breakouts has to do with allergy. So some people don't even know what they're allergic to, and when they try some of these oils and butters, they may find that they have breakouts. It's because you're allergic. So that just plays out on other parts of your body. So it doesn't have to be just when you consume something, your skin is also consuming stuff. When you apply stuff on your skin consumes it. So that just means that you have to watch out for what you're sensitive to when it comes to food, because seeds obviously create food. So, and some of the oils like cranberry seed oil, pumpkin seed oil, grape seed oil, these are very fatty oils as well. So fatty oils have more tendency to cause breakouts on the skin. So oils like jojoba oil may not break you out as much as an oil like pumpkin seed oil, because pumpkin seed oil is very fatty. So, but then when it comes to oils that are fatty, I like them for moisturizing my body. So I'm very heavy handed when it comes to to skincare products. So I could make a jar of butter and it might be gone in a month or less. Also, my family, everyone here uses natural butters, so it's almost like, oh, mom, I'm out, so I need a jar, and you get a jar, and it's probably gone also in a short while because we just use it, and it smells so good. The way when I make it, I combine it with essential oils, and it just smells so good. You just want to be slathered in butters, and sometimes you can also just steam your face using. You can use an oil like that is high in fat, and you can use that on your face, but you can just go ahead and wash it out if you don't want to break out. So that's one of the tips that I can give if you're trying to reduce the impact of some of these oils that can be quite heavy for face. If you don't want to cause breakout, if you have sensitive skin, that is something that I would suggest. So I just went ahead to list the ingredients in our face and body oil blend. So some people ask, does this contain coconut oil? Because coconut oil is just not for everybody. I know coconut oil, it smells so good. We sell the extra virgin organic version of coconut oil, and it works really great on the skin. For some people, it works also great on some people's hair. But for others, coconut oil does just the exact opposite. And actually, I find that sometimes for my hair, coconut oil might be a bit drying. So it just depends on what you combine it with. You just want to watch out for that. And so people ask if it contains coconut oil, obviously, because maybe they just don't want any blend that contains coconut oil. So that's one thing that I definitely made sure to omit in the face and body blend because I know how this coconut oil can be for some people's skin. All right. So the next question here is, excuse me, is the organic face and body oil available for large volume purchases? So on our website here, and because I'm so close to my customers, like I talk with customers quite often. I talk with them on the phone, and sometimes I am the one that picks up the chat on WhatsApp if if there's no other person to pick it up. So I have people that there are several people that have their own handmade store. So when I started my business, I wanted to work with these kinds of people. So there are people that sell on Etsy, just people that sell in small volumes, just as something they like if it's your hobby to create products, if it's your hobby to just like making skincare and hair care products and giving it out to friends or selling it in small volumes. So these are the people that I set up my business to target and to work with. So if you are somebody that has an item on our website that you would like to purchase in bulk, do feel free to let me know. And we also offer custom sizes for some of our butters and our oils. So for example, if you wanted I think this question was from a customer, Cedia. So she asked if it could be purchased in large volume. I believe she went ahead. We sent her a custom order or something like that. So, but then if you are looking for any other oil, not just the organic face and body oil, but we also sell the hair massage oil. We also sell a bunch of other oils. And if there's an oil in particular that you would like to order in bulk, definitely send us a message and we can send you a custom order. So we sell on Amazon and we sell on Walmart, but our website still remains where you can get your products the cheapest. And that's obviously, I'm sure you can understand that because Amazon has several fees that sellers have to pay just to sell on Amazon. You have to pay Amazon to sell on Amazon, and you have to pay for several other things like shipping to Amazon and all of that. So because of that, our website still remains the cheapest. Some other companies do it opposite, like they want you to buy on Amazon just because they don't want to deal directly with customers. They just want Amazon to deal with their customers. But we like to get it. We like to know our customers. We just a small business with everyday next door business. So we like to deal with our customers. So that's why our products are cheapest on our website. All right. So the next question here is, can this oil be applied directly on its own to the scalp? So that one is a bit technical. So the reason that it's technical is because everyone's scalp is different. So like my scalp is sensitive to oils sometimes and sensitive to different oils. So this blend has about 12 virgin organic carrier oils in it. So you have a you have to look at the ingredients just to make sure that your scalp is not sensitive to that specific ingredient. So if you are somebody that you just have sensitive scalp, maybe you can just apply it sparingly and watch how you feel, or you can just do a hot oil treatment, which is what we actually had in mind with our hair massage oil, which I've not really shown that one. But our hair massage oil is great just for natural hair, natural oil, hot oil treatment, where you warm up the oil slightly and then you apply it to your scalp and to your entire hair and just cover it with a plastic cap and leave it for a while and then go ahead and wash it out. So if you're somebody that is sensitive to oils, you're not sure if you'll find applying it to your scalp, then definitely do a hot oil treatment, because then you can just wash it out and avoid any negative problems that could come with clogging of the scalp and things like that. That way you get the benefits and avoid the problems that it may cause your scalp due to sensitivity. So that's it about our organic face and body oil. So if you have any other questions, if you are watching now, and I'm just going to check to see if there's any questions, any other questions for our face and body oil. All right, so there's no question on our face and body oil, and there's no other questions. I will just move on to a different product. Let's see here. Um, all right, so another question I have is about shea butter. So people that are sensitive to shea butter because they're sensitive to nuts. They have questions on how if and how they can they can use shea butter. So we sell a different variation of shea butter, which is the shea nilotica. So the shea nilotica is a bit of a rarer species of shea butter. It's found in East Africa, and it has a softer texture. And I believe I've done a video about using shea nilotica on here. It was a Christmas butter video where I use shea nautica in a butter creation. So shea nautica, it stays really soft. So if you're somebody that you like shea butter, but you just don't like the waxy texture of it, because the shea butter that comes from West Africa, which is regions like Nigeria and Ghana, it does come with a bit of a waxy texture. So it is a bit denser as well. So if you do not like those characteristics of shea butter, then shea nilotica might be the one for you, because shea nilotica is a bit more soft and it doesn't have that waxy texture. It's not stiff at all. Like if you want a formulation that works just for softer, if you want a formulation that just stays soft. And if you want to make more of a salve or lotion, then I would highly suggest Shea Erotica. It is an awesome, it is a great variation of shea butter. So if you want, you can just test it out also on the part of skin to make sure. And you can, if you want to still enjoy some of the benefits of shea butter without the negative impacts, because of course, if you're allergic to nuts, shea butter might not be the one for you. And I had somebody asked, does what process was used to refine the butter? Which is a very good question. If you're looking for an alternative to shea butter because your skin can just can't handle shea butter, or you're afraid you have this nut sensitivity, then you can try the refined shea butter. So somebody asked how it is refined. I actually have a whole article on how our shea butter is refined. It is naturally refined using organic clays. So the process is quite detailed, and I went ahead in that blog article to just describe in detail how our shea nut butter is refined. So if you find that you're sensitive to shea butter, or you just don't like the smell, because I think the smell is one of the biggest things for people. Like, I know, like, some people like the benefits of natural products, but then they can't handle the smell. So you have to choose one. Like, oh, I like unrefined products, and then they come with a smell. Because if they are not like refined, then that they just come to you how they came out of the earth. So you should be ready to receive them how they come. But people don't want, like, I can understand obviously if shea butter you're not a fan of the smell, because yeah, it really smells strong. Then you can try the refined shea butter. So our refined shea butter is refined using dichotomous earth, and I describe that in the vlog. Sorry, in the blog article where I talked about the key differences between our shea and refined and unrefined shea butter. So it is a very detailed process that is used here. So the alternative will be to just heat it up like some other companies do. I'm not sure. I don't know which companies. I'm not naming any companies. But if they are not using organic clays to refine their shea butter, then they're probably using heat and some other chemical products, which is something you don't want for your skin. You want products that are naturally refined, even if you cannot use the unrefined version. So our shea butter basically just comes, like, our refined shea butter is just different. The only difference between our refined and unrefined shea butter is the fact that there's no smell and then there's no color, because these have been removed by dichotomous earth. So I did start this live session by discussing how these butters are processed in some in regions in Europe, because of maybe them coming from a part of the world where they're not really equipped with refineries to process them the way that they come to us. So these refined shea butter is actually one of those butters sent to Europe to get them refined naturally. And like I said, I'd been to the plant where our shea butter is refined using organic clays, and the process is really amazing. I wish I could show it, but the factory doesn't allow cameras. Obviously, there's several big companies also that use their services, so they just want to keep all of that private. So if you, yeah, like I said, I have a whole article where you can read about how our shea butter is refined naturally. So the other question is, does your shea butter contain parabens? So I am happy to announce that it does not, because it is a natural product. So this is why you are on here today, because you don't want products with chemicals. You don't want products that would leave chemical residues on your skin or your family skin. Like you have people that use products that their kids can't use. Like the father is using products that the wife can't use, the wife is using products the kids can't use. It just doesn't make sense. So that's why I started the natural business, because I want everybody in the family to be able to use the same products freely. So actually, when I just started my business, my kids were a lot younger, and I had a whipped buddy butter that I had made, and it just looked like food. And one of them put some of it in his mouth, and I was like, oh! But then I remembered, okay, this is cocoa butter that I use for making chocolate at home. I use cocoa butter in my smoothies and things like that. So I like, oh, okay, that's fine. So, but then imagine if it was a chemical product that your child had just consumed. You probably be calling the hotline, trying to find out what you can use, like what's the antidote for this and things like that. So with natural products, you don't need to worry about that. So there is no parabens whatsoever in our shea nut butter. So you don't have to even think about that at all. So there's no added ingredients. I know some companies might add fillers and other things into their butters, but we do not. We do not add any kinds of fillers whatsoever in our butters or in our oils. We deal with highly reputable suppliers. We've been doing that for over 10 years. So the next product, I think that's all about shea butter. So if you have any further questions about shea butter, I'm just going to check real quick. If there's any questions here, and if you have questions, be feel free to add them on here, and I would answer them. So if you have any questions about shea butter and you are on here, definitely leave those. All right. So the next product that I'll be looking into the questions is our mango butter, and I had discussed extensively about mango butter over the years. Mango butter is one of our highly sought after butters, or one of our highly purchased butters, one of our big best sellers. So when we started selling mango butter, like there wasn't that many people selling it on Amazon, but all of a sudden there's so many sellers out there. However, I had advised people on here about how to go about sourcing products. So, for example, if you're somebody that makes products for your family at home, and if you are somebody that sells, you just want to make sure that your products are sourced from highly reputable sellers, just so you don't have to deal with the liability issues and problems that come from just maybe selling something that somebody reacts to, and just you don't want to deal with that. So also that's why we deal with highly reputable suppliers and all of that good stuff. So many people sell mango butter, and sometimes the mango butter is blended with other things, and sometimes they just don't look how they should look. So you definitely need to do your homework when you're trying to source products. And mango butter is an excellent base for different variety of products. So it works well for skincare, it works well for hair care, especially. So for my hair, I always have to have mango butter in any of the blends that I use. So I use so for example, when I make hair butter that I use for maybe twist outs or braid outs or whatever, I always make sure to add mango butter. This is because if you want soft butters, you have to still add even a stiff butter or medium stiff butter like mango butter, so that everything just stays balanced and just stays at the right texture that you want it to be. Because sometimes, even though we want soft butters, we want our butters to remain soft, you don't want it to turn runny at any increase in temperature out there. So that's why you definitely need a butter like mango butter that would help to balance everything out nicely. So one of the questions I got was, somebody was actually trying to make formulation. So we have people that come in with different questions, basically asking us to help them to make a formulation. Like the only thing that is left is It's just them wanting us to create something unique specifically for them. We already have several free video tutorials on our website and also here on YouTube. So we don't really have to go ahead and customize products for everyone, but there's just a basic rule of thumb when you're making standard with body butter. But I'm just going to read this question. It says, "Hello, is it possible to mix this butter?" It says hello, by the way. It wasn't hell. Hello, is it possible to mix this butter with tamarind? I'm talking about muru muru butter now, but somebody was asking if they can mix it with some tamanu butter, some shea butter, cocoa butter, and mango butter. Can I mix them all together? What are your thoughts? Of course you can. So that is a very good balance here. Like already this person has tamanu butter, which is a soft butter. Next, they have shea butter, which is medium soft. And then they have cocoa butter, which is a hard butter. So here they have soft, medium soft, hard, and medium soft. So the next one they wanted to add was mango butter. So next thing you have to do is just make sure that you have the right balance. So for example, do not add a whole bunch of cocoa butter in there because it's going to harden everything up and just make it stiff and unusable. So you just want to make sure that you maybe you add more where you're working with a very hard butter, you can just counter balance it by adding a really very soft butter. So the same amount of you can have a 3-to-1 ratio of soft to hard. So for example, if you want to add like 6 ounces of if you want to add like 2 ounces of cocoa butter, then definitely have 6 ounces of tamanu butter to balance it out so it remains really soft. And I love formulations that include cocoa butter because cocoa butter just smells so good in body butter mixes. And the way it combines with essential oils also is really great. Like it makes the texture, the aroma just very unique. So one of the best blends I love is combining cocoa butter with peppermint essential oil. It just takes it to the next level. Like you should definitely try that combination. So where you have cocoa butter, shea butter, and you can use the unrefined version of shea butter. It still smells great when you combine it with cocoa butter and some peppermint essential oil. The resultant smell is just unique. Like people would ask you what you combine, and it's great. So when I make handmade products that I just sell in like fairs when I have time, it's just I have that combination and everybody just really loves it. So if you want the specific recipe, you can leave me a comment and I'll send that to you. So and somebody was asking, I'm thinking of mixing this with vitamin E and jojoba. So where you have all these oils and butters, you definitely want to make sure that you have a good balance of um when you have this balance of soft, hard butters, you want to make sure you add the right amount of oil because that will definitely make a difference. So, some of the oils that I always recommend, our coconut oil is an excellent oil if you were looking for a light oil. So sometimes some people, if you add in a bunch of butters and then you throw in yeah, great, I got you, I would send it to you. Just send me your email and I would send that to you. And yeah, so the coconut oil here, people, yeah, it works great because when you want to make a formulation and you don't want the oil to be so overpowering, so there are thick oils like pumpkin seed oil, very dense, very heavily packed oil, and you have like oils like castor oil, which they are very thick. If you add that to some butters, it would actually even stiffen it more. So that's where light oils like coconut oil come in. So you just want to add coconut oil, and we work with several influencers. Like we worked with Yaya for many years, and I always tell her when she's making blends to always include our coconut oil because that works great in different formulations. So coconut oil is naturally light. It's also not that pricey. So if you were wanting to be very generous with an oil, then it should be an oil like coconut oil because it's so light textured, and I just love this oil in every single thing. And also for my hair and scalp, if you don't want your hair to be weighed down, you just want to, but you want to oil your ends, that's an oil I recommend highly. And that one, in addition to our Abyssinian oil, these two oils, like I have people that use just Abyssinian oil even as a heat protectant, and they say it just works like keratin straightener. Like if you add it and then straighten your hair, yeah, it works great. So nature is so wonderful, giving us almost everything we need, or in fact, everything we need, not almost. So these oils are very light, and because of the light texture, they actually penetrate the scalp very nicely. So they are able to strengthen the strands and just help you avoid split ends and breakage. So I recommend these oils if you're trying to balance your butter, your ratio. You just want to make sure everything is nicely balanced. If you want to make some really great, wonderful formulations this summer for your handmade products, you want to go to nice fairs this year, definitely look for get this oil so you can balance. So we have the big size of our coconut oil. So some of these oils, we have been getting questions and basically demands for bigger sizes. So now we have them in 12-ounce sizes. So the face and body blend, we had that for many years in just the small sizes, but now it comes in big 12-ounce sizes. So if you wanted to make a bunch of whipped butters for your fair this year, grab these. And don't forget your cranberry seed oil. So this one is, in fact, all the oils are great, but then they are great in different ways. So something like cranberry seed oil, it is actually one of the only oils that has a right balance of omega fatty acids. So it has the same amount of in the same amount of in same ratio, which is very makes it unique. So it's able to just help with balancing out the skin, and oils like that contain the same ratio of omega fatty acids, they just help you to retain moisture and retain balance in your scalp, retain balance in your skin, your hair, and just all around balance. That's why I absolutely love cranberry seed oil. So these oils, they are fruit oils. So we have cranberry seed oil, and then we have strawberry seed oil. So they are fruit oils. Aside from smelling great, they work absolutely fantastic also for skin care. So for face care. So our strawberry seed oil, it smells just like strawberries. So that's the difference between this kind of oil and like a butter like mango butter. People like the smell of mango butter and they want their mango butter to smell like mango butter, but mango butter comes from the kennels. But for strawberry seed oil, the oil comes from those tiny little seeds that you find on your strawberry fruit. So that just makes it smell 100% like strawberries. And we sell a lot of it on Amazon because people just love it. It's wonderful. Like if you want to make skincare products for face, I would highly recommend you use an oil like strawberry seed oil, because if you're not somebody that likes to add artificial fragrances, like for me, I'm very sensitive to like smells. Like I just don't like heavily scented products, especially when it's not natural. I can't handle chemical smells. I hardly use perfumes because my nose starts itching like crazy. So I just stay away from synthetic fragrances, but I don't need to add anything to my strawberry seed oil face butter. So I add strawberry seed oil, and I use some of my natural my I have my signature face butter. I believe I shared something like that on here, and it just works great for face and it smells great. You don't need to fragrance it. So there are regions in the world where they don't even like scents. I used to live in Norway for a little bit, and they just love products that don't come scented. So those products are actually much more expensive because people don't like heavy scents and things like that. So, but natural smells, they are just wonderful to have. Like you can incorporate this into anything that you're making for face. Like if you make beard butter, you can add that. Although for most men, they just like the smell of frankincense and cedarwood, which is great. Like I absolutely love those scents. I use it to make my husband's beard butter, but you can also add strawberry seed oil to your face products and just have a bit of a more mellow, fruity scent, which is so relaxing and really great. So I don't know if you have any more questions. And yeah, it's been great. This live session has been really good. I hope you have learned a thing or two. I'm just gonna see if I can just address a few more questions before I go. However, if you are here and you are enjoying the session, definitely leave a comment to let me know that you are enjoying it. So cocoa butter is also something that I don't believe I addressed. Okay, there's a question. Okay, somebody said, is Oslove unrefined cocoa butter deodorized or non-deodorized? So we have the two versions of cocoa butter. So we have the deodorized version and the non-deodorized version. And that's because some people don't like the scent of cocoa butter, which is really surprising. Like, but I get it. Like, not for everybody, because cocoa butter does have a very strong scent of chocolate. Like, if you open a bag of cocoa butter right here, everywhere just starts smelling really great. And it's just a very lovely scent, and I love it. But not for everybody, like I said. And also, if you're making a formulation where you want the scents of your essential oil or your fragrance oils to sort of pop, then you may not want the overpowering scent of the cocoa butter. Oh, God bless you too. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. So if you're looking for cocoa butter that doesn't have a scent to it, then definitely we carry the deodorized version, but we also carry the unrefined version. Actually, recently there's been a shortage of cocoa butter supply. Actually, the chocolate manufacturers were also affected by this supply because of all the ups and downs we're getting now with the tariffs and things. And some countries have also decided not to sell some of their products and things. So it's been a whirlwind of different events that has been affecting supply of some of these products. So you will find that there's been a big hike in pricing for cocoa butter, but right now it might be coming back down to normal. So if you want to stock up, definitely stock up because we don't know what's going to happen again soon with cocoa butter. But yeah, like I said, we sell the deodorized version and we sell the non-deodorized version. So if you somebody that you still like the benefits of cocoa butter, because cocoa butter is very rich in vitamin E. So your skin just thrives on vitamin E. We all know that the skin needs vitamin E more than most of the other vitamins. That's why most products just have to have added vitamin E in order to just boost their skin, their reparation properties, their rejuvenation properties, and all that. So people like to incorporate vitamin E as much as possible. But cocoa butter is already naturally very rich in vitamin E. So you don't need to add too much more of the synthetic vitamin E because it comes naturally with cocoa butter. So if you want to benefit, you want to get the benefits of cocoa butter, you want to apply that to your skincare, to like prenatal skincare and things like that, then you can still do that by using our deodorized cocoa butter. So unlike some other companies. Um, oh yeah, yeah, that's I yeah, customers. I know, like it's a lot happening out there with the tariff issues. It's a lot, but I hope things change soon. But then back to the cocoa butter thing, I was saying, if you are somebody that wants to still incorporate cocoa butter into your skincare, then definitely add a deodorized version. So unlike some other companies, ours is not bleached, so it still contains a lot of the natural vitamins that you find in the unrefined non-deodorized version. So definitely incorporate that into your skincare as much as possible. So because cocoa butter is naturally hard, you want to use it to make things like lotion bars. So for pregnant women that don't really have time to just start scooping out butters, you can just make like a bar if you're somebody that makes handmade skincare for different fairs and events. That's be one of my suggestions for you to make lotion bar using cocoa butter, especially for pregnant stomachs. You can just make that in a nice shape, and all you need, or if you're pregnant, you can make it for yourself. You can just get it and just slaughter it in your on your stomach, and that just makes sure that you don't get that many stretch marks. I am not really promising anything with the stretch marks because you never know. So, but then it is something that can help you reduce or avoid a lot of stretch marks. So definitely you can incorporate. So we do sell the two versions to answer that question. So since there are no more questions, and I would be I think I'll be doing this live more often. If you like to see more of this, definitely leave a comment in the description section when the video uploads, because then I would be. I just like to get in touch with customers to see, how people are doing with our products and questions that they have, because not everybody knows how to work with some of these butters and oils. So I just like to put this out there so that people get some benefit and some information. So I appreciate you for being in this live session, and thank you so much for watching. And if you have any more questions, I would be addressing that. Yeah, I see that. Thank you. Appreciate that. And I would be honoring this promise that I'll be making more live sessions. And as we head into the spring, I would also have different skincare video combinations and just different ideas on how you can wow your customers this season, and things that you can do that would just like be so much more different from what's out there. So yeah, thank you again for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day and have a wonderful rest of your week. If you were late to the live, definitely be sure to hop on in the next live earlier so that we can interact some more and just exchange ideas and just rub minds and all of that good stuff. So, like I said, I'm just new in this whole YouTube thing. So sometimes the lives may not start as early, maybe 5 minutes, give or take. We should be up and running. So thank you so much again for watching, and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.